What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Zuri and today we'll be reacting to George Carlin, Religion and There Is No God. I think it's from his special from 1999. It's called You're All Diseased. I've seen a couple of things from Carlin. I know like he's a political commentator slash comedian. He does it well, but I haven't seen this particular video of him, so I'm kind of curious. So let's get into it.
I gotta tell you the truth, folks. I gotta tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league bullshit, you have to stand in awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims, religion. No.
I was raised pretty religious. I was raised Orthodox, like Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox, or in my case, Georgian Orthodox. So, like, I went to the church every Sunday. Then I got out of touch with religion because Western values kicked in, and I don't know, I started asking questions. I'm a pretty skeptic guy. I look at things with the idea that not everything is what they're telling us. Same with religion. But as the years pass, I feel myself more and more getting attracted back to it, just because it gives a sense of security. Like, it's an anchor in this crazy ass world we're living in currently. Do I believe everything literally? Sometimes, not most of the time, but I know it's a lot of parables. I know it's a lot of it's like a way to handle and look at life, but I think it's necessary in society to have religion. I'm not saying religion is needed to have a moral compass, but I think a lot of people do need it. There are people who don't. Like, they can be good human beings without the idea that there is a higher power ready to judge them. But I don't think that most people are ready for a society without religion, because they just do shit, like evil shit, and just rationalize it in very strange ways. But anyways, let's watch it.
No contest. No contest. Religion easily has the greatest bullshit story ever told. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do.
I understand his point. It's funny. I understand what he's saying, but you don't take it literally. Like, a creator doesn't mean it's just an invisible sky man. It means there is something more than just random occurrences that made us who we are. It has to be that, right? It's the odds of us being us just randomly sounds even crazier to me than us being created with a purpose. Like, do I believe there is an invisible man watching us through the sky? Maybe. I mean, it's like us watching ants through a microscope or through an ant farm. Does the ant know we exist? Does the ant know who we are, what we are, and what our purpose is? Maybe it's the same for us. Maybe a better example. Stuff that was science fiction like 20 years ago is becoming reality now. Aren't we the creators? Not me personally, but like the people who make AI and people who make automation, robots, don't they feel like a certain kind of God if they can actually make an artificial soul? Maybe I'm just thinking way too far, but I think it's just very arrogant to say, oh no, it's all bullshit, I know. Like, I understand the aspect of mind control and manipulation of the masses through religion. I get it, the opiate of the masses, but I don't think it's that simple. I think there are a lot of metaphysical things that I can't prove. Maybe some people will in the future, but I think there are a lot of things we don't see because we've become very close-minded about everything. We think we know because science, but eventually science is just a lens to look at the world, and if you don't have the right filters on the lens, there is a lot of shit you can't see, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I'm ranting.
And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you.
I understand what he's saying. I get it. It's funny.
He loves you. He loves you and he needs money.
No, listen, that's the human aspect, right? Everything is corruptible if a human is involved with it. Why? Because humans are greedy. If you're greedy, you corrupt systems that might be perfect without human intervention. Let's say communism. Communism is beautiful in theory. But the moment a human has to run the system, it becomes corruptible. Why? Again, because humans are corruptible. They are selfish. They are greedy. Of course, there are amazing people as well, but every human being has that gene in him, that little voice who says, no, you are the most important thing. No. Don't think about others. It's about you. And it's very difficult to switch that voice out. So I understand his point, but the evangelical, that is stupid. I don't think that is religion. I think that is a scam. They're scam artists, and the people who believe in them are very, very indoctrinated. True religion, in my opinion, I've seen it. I've been to Orthodox mass. It's a feeling, it's just peace, inner peace. So I get his point about the perversion of faith and religion by human hands, like by men. But yeah, anyway, I'm ranting again. I have so much to say about this subject.
He always needs money. He's all powerful, all perfect, all knowing, and all wise. Somehow, just can't handle money. Religion takes in billions of dollars.
That's true.
They pay no taxes,
that's
and
true.
they always need a little more.
That's true.
Now, you talk about
that's not religion. That's organized religion. That's the Catholic Church or the Evangelical Church. It has nothing to do with faith. It's about faith. Religion is about faith, not going to the church, because we are the church. We have a church, and we are. You can pray, you can do everything you want. Of course, there are people who enjoy being part of a community and going to the church, but that's where it becomes sketchy sometimes, because the wrong shepherd can lead its herd to the wrong destination. If you get what I mean.
Good bullshit story. Holy shit.
Like, this is kind of a midwit take.
Thank you. But, thank you. Thank you very much. But I want you to know something. This is sincere. I want you to know, when it comes to believing in God, I really tried. I really tried. I tried to believe that there is a God who created each of us in his own image and likeness, loves us very much, and keeps a close eye on things. I really tried to believe that, but I gotta tell you, the longer you live, the more you look around, the more you realize something is fucked up. Something.
Yes, free will. That's what free will is. You have a choice to be good, but it's easier to be bad. That is what free will is. If God wanted perfection, he wouldn't have given us free will. It is the choices that we made every single day that decide if we do good or bad. It's our choice. Eventually, everyone has free will. Okay, of course, there are some examples like growing up in certain communities, growing up in poverty. You have no other opportunity to be a good person. But then again, what is good and what is bad? That is a different argument altogether.
Something is wrong here. War, disease, death, destruction, hunger, filth, poverty, torture, crime, corruption.
That's all human beings. That's not God. That is free will.
And the ice capades. Something is definitely wrong. This is not good work. If this is the best God can do, I am not impressed. Results like these do not belong on the resume of a supreme being. This is the kind of shit you'd expect from an office temp with a bad attitude. And just between you and me, if in any decently run universe, this guy would have been out on his all-powerful ass a long time ago.
Again, he's thinking as God, as someone who wanted perfection. If he wanted people to be perfect, he would make them like robots without a free will and just, this is what you do. I want perfection. This is what I want. Like, if you subscribe to the idea of God, this is what he would do. But it's free will and the temptation of sin that makes it hard to be a human being. It's that dichotomy that makes life worth living, I think. Imagine having no free will. Imagine not being able to make a choice about anything you want. That's in my book, that is a horrible God. That is a dictator. That is a tyrant. We have a pretty liberal God. The New Testament God. It's the same one, but I mean, if you look at the New Testament, the Old Testament is kind of, they did some crazy shit, a lot of stoning, a lot of chopping, and a lot of death, but once that covenant was closed off, the New Testament is, it's pretty liberal.
By the way, I say this guy because I firmly believe, looking at these results, that if there is a God, it has to be a man. No woman could or would ever fuck things up like...
Have you seen our current European government? There are people in power who have just no. This ridiculous notion that females don't make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Just everyone. We are all human beings. Females are just as susceptible to corruption as men are. I think it's pretty even. But this notion that females are just floating around with halos above their head, I think it's a bit silly. But it's funny.
Like this. So, if there is a God, if there is, I think most reasonable people might agree that he's at least incompetent and maybe, just maybe, doesn't give a shit. Doesn't give a shit.
I mean, he does give a shit, but it's up to you. That's why you have free will. If you can resist the temptation of sin, if you can resist gluttony, if you can resist lust, if you can resist greed, these are all human experiences. Are they provoked by the devil? They might be. I have seen some evil, actual evil. Not like, oh no, he jaywalked. No, I mean actual evil. So it might be, and at the end of the day, it's you as a human being who makes the choice to succumb to it or resist it.
Which I admire in a person and which would explain a lot of these bad results. So rather than be just another mindless religious robot, mindlessly and
This is what I mean. A mindless religious robot. I know the type he's talking about, but that is not what religion is about. Being a zealot is in my opinion not religion. That's crazy. That's just crazy. There's nothing good about a zealot, unless you're going to a war and you need a bunch of crusaders. Then zealot away. But like actual faith and having faith in a certain kind of God, or the one God, the Abrahamic God, I don't think being a zealot is like the blueprint.
And aimlessly and blindly believing that all of this is in the hands of some spooky, incompetent father figure who doesn't give a shit, I decided to look around for something else to worship, something I could really count on. And immediately, I thought of the sun. Happened like that. Overnight, I became a sun worshiper. Well, not overnight, you can't see the sun.
I mean, you wouldn't be the first one. Like, sun worship was one of the first kind of worships, because if you know like Apollo, you have what's the Egyptian version of Apollo? Is it Ra? Is it Ra, the sun god? Let me. Yeah, it's Ra. Yeah, I was right.
Sun at night. The first thing the next morning, I became a sun worshiper. Several reasons. First of all, I can see the sun. Okay? Yeah. Unlike some other gods.
It's so corny, bro. It's so corny.
I could mention I can actually see the sun. I'm big on that. If I can see something, I don't know, kind of helps the credibility along, you know?
Yeah, but it's about faith, right? Faith doesn't mean you have to see something. Then it's proof, it's evidence. So faith isn't necessary. Faith is about believing in something that isn't tangible.
So every day I can see the sun as it gives me everything I need: heat, light, food, flowers in the park, reflections on the lake, an occasional skin cancer. But hey, at least there are no crucifixions, and we're not setting people on fire simply because they don't agree with us.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Atheism has killed millions of people. Absolutely millions. Genghis Khan wasn't religious. He killed a bunch of people. Stalin wasn't religious. He killed a bunch of people. I mean, Mao wasn't religious. He killed a shitload of people. I don't think that's a proper comparison.
Sun worship is fairly simple. There's no mystery, no miracles, no pageantry, no one asks for money, there are no songs to learn, and we don't have a special building where we all gather once a week to compare clothing.
That's not what church is about, but okay.
And the best thing about the sun, it never tells me I'm unworthy. Doesn't tell me I'm a bad person who needs to be saved. Hasn't said an unkind word. Treats me fine.
So you would rather not be introspective? Okay.
So I worship the sun, but
good for you.
I don't pray to the sun.
No, you don't.
Know why? I wouldn't presume on our friendship. It's not polite. I've often thought people treat God rather rudely, don't you? Asking trillions and trillions of prayers every day, asking and pleading and begging for favors. Do this, give me that, I need a new car, I want a better job. And most of this praying takes place on Sunday, his day off. It's not nice, and it's no way to treat a friend. But people do pray, and they pray for a lot of different things. You know, your sister needs an operation on her crotch. Your brother was arrested for defecating in a mall. But most of all, you'd really like to fuck that hot little redhead down at the convenience store. You know, the one with the eye patch and the...
This is what I mean. These are not things. There probably are people who will pray about it, but this is not what praying is about. Praying is a conversation with God. I don't think what he's saying, he's making it funny. I get it. I understand it, but it's a very lazy take, if you know what I mean.
Clubfoot, huh? Can you pray for that? I think you'd have to. And I say, fine, pray for anything you want. Pray for anything, but What
don't
about
agree
the
with that.
divine plan? Remember that? The divine plan. Long time ago, God made a divine plan, gave it a lot of thought, decided it was a good plan, put it into practice. And for billions and billions of years, the divine plan has been doing just fine. Now you come along and pray for something. Well, suppose the thing you want isn't in God's divine plan. What do you want him to do? Change his plan? Just for you? Doesn't it seem a little arrogant? It's a divine plan. What's the use of being God if every rundown schmuck with a $2 prayer book can come along and fuck up your plan? And here's something else, another problem you might have. Suppose your prayers aren't answered. What do you say? Well, it's God's will. Thy will be done. Fine, but if it's God's will and he's going to do what he wants to anyway, why the fuck bother praying in the first place?
Yeah.
Seems like a big waste of time. To me, couldn't you just skip the praying part and go right to his will? It's all very confusing. So to get around a lot of this, I decided to worship the sun. But as I said, I don't pray to the sun. You know who I pray to? Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci. Two reasons. First of all, I think he's a good actor, okay? To me, that counts.
He is a very good
Second,
actor.
he looks like a guy who can get things done. Joe Pesci doesn't fuck around. Doesn't fuck around. In fact, Joe Pesci came through on a couple of things that God was having trouble with. For years, I asked God to do something about my noisy neighbor with the barking dog. Joe Pesci straightened that cocksucker out with one visit. It's amazing what you can accomplish with a simple baseball bat. So I've been praying to Joe for about a year now. And I noticed something. I noticed that all the prayers I used to offer to God and all the prayers I now offer to Joe Pesci are being answered at about the same 50% rate. Half the time I get what I want, half the time I don't. Same as God, 50-50. Same as the four-leaf clover and the horseshoe, the wishing well and the rabbit's foot. Same as the mojo man. Same as the voodoo lady who tells you your fortune by squeezing the goat's testicle.
He's equating superstition with faith. And of course, superstition is a kind of faith, but it doesn't give you a blueprint. There is a reason that Christianity and Judaism and many other, like Islam, and many other religions have been through a test of time, and they're still here. I get his point. It's funny, and nobody's trying to accomplish with it, but it's just a very midwit, lazy take. Look at me, I'm so smart. Well, if you do a little more deep diving into religion, it becomes very philosophical. You need a lot of brain power to actually comprehend the different dynamics that play into being a faithful person.
It's all the same 50-50. So just pick your superstition, sit back, make a wish, and enjoy yourself. And for those of you who look to the Bible for moral lessons and literary qualities...
Which Bible? That's the problem. There have been like 17 different Bibles. The Word of God has been tampered with, that it has been perversed into a mind controlling substance in book form. It's weird, because let's say the Schofield Bible, it's not the same Bible as the King James Bible, it's not the same Bible as the Orthodox Bible. Like, there are many things that are different from the original texts. I think it's one of the things in Islam that they're proud of, and they should be, that their book has never been altered. There has never been an edit to it. I think that's one of the main things about Islam that is very interesting. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if what I'm saying is true. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think that is one of the core arguments about the Quran being the truth. Okay.
I might suggest a couple of other stories for you. You might want to look at the Three Little Pigs. That's a good one. Has a nice, happy ending. I'm sure you'll like that. Then there's Little Red Riding Hood, although it does have that X-rated part where the big bad wolf actually eats the grandmother. which I didn't care for, by the way. And finally, I've often always drawn a great deal
Fairy tales used to be actual horror stories for children, but
of
anyways.
moral comfort from Humpty Dumpty. The part I like the best, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. That's because there is no Humpty Dumpty and there is no God. None, not one, no God, never was. In fact, I'm gonna put it this way. If there is a God, may he strike this audience dead.
This is, again, such a lazy way of bringing your point to the audience.
See, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Everybody's okay. All right? Tell you what. I'll raise the stakes. I'll raise the stakes a little bit. If there is a God, may he strike me dead. See? Nothing happened. Oh, wait. Got a little cramp in my leg. And my balls hurt. Plus, I'm blind. Oh, now I'm okay again. Must have been Joe Pesci, huh? God bless Joe Pesci. Thank you all very much. Joe bless you. Thank you very much.
Okay. I was mildly amused. I think his way of arguing about it is pretty lazy. Like, it's not philosophical. It's so much deeper. I know it's done with the idea to make people laugh. I understand what he's doing. He's a comedian. He's a stand-up. This is what he does. But I think it's just lazy. You can be funny and still make great points, but his points weren't coherent. He just says stuff. Anyways, I enjoyed the video in a different kind of way. It wasn't like ha 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 funny. It was mildly amusing. I had my own opinions about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below with suggestions for videos I should watch or react to. And see you next time.